Hidden Object, you were here with hot new game Broken Blades. This is one of those situations where someone was kind enough to just send me an email out of the blue suggesting I try their game, and then I'm like, of course I'll try your game. You kidding me? Well, I'll be checking those out this week, Marissa, so there won't be a problem. You can spoil it for me if you want, since I'm gonna be watching the videos anyway. I have long since made peace of the fact that I'm not getting sent a copy of... I have an air jump! Oh, it's a double jump. Nice. Only one jump if you're falling, though. You can evade attacks and projectiles by dodging through them without losing health. Okay. Nice. Oh, we already... Anyway, let's get ready. Oh, cool. I'm very glad to hear that, Marissa. Lady will be back momentarily.
Yes.
She has stuff to do. Oh, nice. What do you mean sword pieces? Oh.
I have to wash my hair. Also, do I have way too much hair?
Yes.
Just took my hair out of its braids, folks, and it is way voluminous.
I get that. So I got 2 sword pieces, so my sword is now longer. Okay. What is Marissa's favorite? Do I have to crawl in there? That was a very small cave entrance. Well, I am having to beat the game with the broken blade. I can put the pieces back together. That doesn't mean it's fixed necessarily. Yay, traps! I love trying to dodge traps. Is it any wonder sadistic platformers are amongst my favorite genres? Oh, okay. The repelling scene is in the demo. Was I right about it being set in that location, or was I completely wrong? Nice. Yes. Wait, I thought I already had 2 sword pieces. Well, now I'm confused. Didn't I get a second sword piece last level? When it taught me about the sword pieces? Whoa! That rat was not messing around. Also, I don't like the rat that can change the rat can change its direction of attack after it's already committed to attacking. That doesn't seem fair to me. Okay, that's an eyeball that's also a bat, and it's like firing projectiles at me. This is a lot to have to deal with. It died quickly enough, so at least I got that going for me. I gotta say, this level is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Hey! Secret note! Secret note! Secret note! How do I get there? Ah, okay. Neat. You can spoiler alert me one thing, Marissa. Do we get a look at a vampire in the game? And by vampire, I mean any normal-looking human, like any normal human, dressed like an old-timey human down in the temple. Just yes or no, tell me if they're there. I don't mind having that spoiled. I know they're going to be in the full game, so I'm just asking if they're in the demo. And I say they. It might just be one guy. Or maybe all of the bats can also turn into humans. Like, we don't really know what's going on with that yet. I mean, it could be an immortal. It could be a vampire that turns into the monster. It could just be a cultist cosplayer. They've already told us, like, if the cult doesn't factor into the game at all, it would be a rat tamer, obviously. Now the rats won't attack me? Yes, they will. I'm not sure what rat tamer meant. Okay, nothing like that's in there. I'm sad to hear it. So, I start this level with just 1 sword piece. Okay. Best thing about this game so far, enemies don't damage you by touching you. They have to do an attack. Not enough games use that rule. In most games, far too many games I would say, every single enemy is a poison dart frog. And that's a reference to the actual poison dart frog. Maybe the deadliest frog in the world? A frog that, and this is true, its skin is completely coated with an incredibly powerful poison, and to the point where, like, literally if you just touch it, you'll be dead inside 5 minutes. And that is what various tribes in the Amazon use to coat their darts. They will just rub their dart, they'll kill the frog, they'll have a dead frog there, they rub their darts on the frog's, wet-ish skin, and then they have incredibly potent poison darts. Hence the name of that frog, the Poison Dart Frog. Okay, so I can buy an extra sword piece if I could find some gold. Ow! But I haven't seen any gold. The reason I know it's going to have a vampire, Horror King, is that there was a screenshot posted of a dude in old-timey Akkadian Empire clothing standing in a hallway in the present day, and that photo was called Vampire. So that's how I know there's going to be a vampire in the game. And they were so embarrassed at having accidentally leaked that, they took the picture down, retitled it, and then put it back up. They didn't realize they had accidentally left their naming. Now, that doesn't mean he's actually going to be a vampire. That might just mean the chapter that section is in is called Vampire, but it is telling that an ancient-looking dude in a modern setting was called Vampire by the game's developers. Again, we don't know what the significance of it is yet, but it wouldn't shock me if there were a vampire down there. Now that's a big bug. Thick feet. Businessman. I assume businessman means there's going to be no more monster.
I both remembered.
You're kidding me.
Remember how the other day I was like, wait, I had a good idea for what to be for Halloween, and now I forgot? So I both remembered and made it better.
Good.
So it was Agatha.
Obviously.
Yeah, from, Vision and Scarlet
Obviously.
Witch. But then I was like, I could actually construct almost every one of her costumes.
Nice.
Is that insane?
Completely normal. Ask our resident cosplay expert. She'll tell you it's a completely normal thing to do.
I think it's completely normal.
Hey, GD. What's up?
Hello.
We don't do spamming here, so just FYI. If you start repeating messages and whatnot, you will get immediately put on timeout. Boom. What? Every time? Yeah, that rat's... Well, no, it's not too deadly. It's fine. But, it's very deadly. That's literally what I just said, Horror King. I feel like you don't listen to a lot of what I say. And I mean, that wouldn't be a problem if you weren't constantly asking me to clarify stuff I just said. Yay!
I've always assumed it was a time delay thing, and that he wasn't hearing your answers by the time he...
It ain't that much of a time delay. Alright, so I can use the swords piece there, just the swords piece. So now I have a scarier sword. You okay, woman?
Yeah.
Just making sure you enjoyed your shower. What the hell?
I washed my hair. So
How does he do that?
I have successfully cleaned my hair. And the first of the... combing out of the hair has worked successfully.
What's interesting is you can tell that House of Ashes is a mistranslation, because if you read the line from the epic poem where it's mentioned, like, it talks about how no one has been here so long, has entered or left in so long, that blank, the word that they translated as ashes, have settled over the doorknob. Like, oh, you're obviously talking about dust. Don't worry about it, GD. I'm not anywhere, we don't have to delete comments. No one is being bothered by them. But yeah, it's interesting. Spider Tamer. What does Tamer mean in this context? So yeah, obviously they didn't mean ashes. They meant dust had settled, dust had covered the doorknob. Because that's what happens if you don't use a doorknob in, infinite years. It eventually gets covered in dust. And in fact, all there is for the creatures that live there, the dead to eat, is dust. It's mentioned in there. Trolls in this game. Nice. How could I forget Horror King? I'm just giving everybody a chance to get their guesses in. See, that's what I'm talking about. He commits to an attack, but then he gets to switch directions. That doesn't seem fair to me. Like, maybe I play too many of these Souls-like games, but once your dude is committed to attack, you should be able to freely dodge him, comfortable, ow, in the knowledge that you won't get hit by that attack. See what I'm saying? Okay, that guy shooting in seemingly random directions is proving quite deadly. See? Maddie's guessing I'd rather... Okay, that was a weird thing to say there. Gah! Nice, Marissa. What wigs are you putting together, if I may ask? Oh, for your costume. What am I saying? As well you should be, Coffee. And if you want to send us a bee plushie, we will put it on the screen. But we just don't have one yet. I've never seen one in a store and it's been like, oh, right, we got to get a bee plushie. I mean, let's face it. If there's a giant display of my beloved Beanie Boos somewhere, spoiler alert, I'm always going to buy the dragon, or the moose, or the red panda. Like, bee is just never going to be high on my list of plushies. I would have to be in exactly the right mood and see one. And the thing is, like, how is the... Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, well, I'm embarrassed now. Dear developers, it would not kill you. Ow. It would not kill you to, like, give enemies a health bar or show numbers appearing over their head, because when I upgrade the sword, is it becoming more powerful or is it just having a longer attack range? That's information I would like to have. It also made it very difficult to heal in this game. That's not a big problem, but seem to be dying a lot. Excellent work. I probably will play Jedi Fallen Order at some time, GD. I famously, you can check the video to see why. I famously boycotted the game because it won't let Jedi dismember people, and I'm like, well, what's the point of having a lightsaber if you can't cut people to pieces?
Oh
like, it defeats the entire purpose of having a lightsaber.
I mean, I agree with you, but you started something.
I started something?
No, whoever asked you about playing Jedi.
Oh, I see.
Hey.
Boom. So yeah, like it's a whole thing with me. And like, of course that's been something they've censored from games before. Hilariously, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy, had a third-person sword fighting mode that had a full dismemberment system for cutting up enemies, and as is always the case, the way Jedi duels in it worked is, basically if somebody got hit with a lightsaber, it was all over for them. Like, you only get hit once by a lightsaber. That's the whole point of a lightsaber. If you have to hit somebody twice, it ain't a lightsaber. And the funny part was, so they included this system. What? No, 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 no! I thought it paused when I did that. Alright, I'm embarrassed now. Oh, he can fire through walls. That's cool. It's not actually. And so they had this full, combat system with dismemberment that was awesome in the game. And then at the last minute, they patched it out of the game because someone upstairs at LucasArts said, we don't want our heroes to be cutting people to pieces in the game. And I'm like, have you never seen a Star Wars movie? That's all the heroes do. But anyway, so they took it out, but with it like a single line in the boot, like in a single change to one line in the boot up file, which people like immediately discovered, or let's face it, was probably leaked, you were able to turn the dismemberment back on. And so when I found out there would be no dismemberment in the Jedi Fallen Order game, I'm like, come on, even a Metal Gear game made a sword fighting game with full dismemberment. Hey, Hans. I know it's a Disney game. But it's a Disney game made by Respawn Entertainment.
I maintain that my favorite Star Wars game ever is Lego Star Wars.
Which had full dismemberment.
Yep.
So
And
much dismemberment.
a really good, like, approximation of what it's like to play as someone with the Force.
That's true. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so bad at this. To the point
that we also played the prequels.
Yeah, and those were garbage.
And we enjoyed them more. Which one was it? Was it the third one we hadn't seen yet because we were so angry at all the prequels? We were like, let's just find out what the plot is from the Lego game.
Yep.
And it was better in the Lego game.
It wouldn't be 18 plus, GD. It would be M. We know this because Metal Gear Rising, the game I was talking about earlier, had full dismemberment in it, and it was rated M. You gotta remember, it's a lightsaber. There's not going to be any blood when you cut people in half. There's not going to be any blood. There's not going to be any gore. There's just going to be two halves of a dude, and each half is going to be, like, smoldering and glowing orange, because they were just cut in half with the heat of a sun.
Right, Maddie? Lego Star Wars games are the best. I actually really want them to do a Mandalorian Lego Star Wars game.
I would love the heck out of that.
With Grogu in it.
We do love Grogu.
I don't think Disney quite understands how much I would pay for that video
game.
Especially if it's on Switch.
God! I went through all of the trouble. I made it through that whole area with full health for the first time, and that buzzsaw beetle still one-shot me.
I mean,
see, Marissa's on board for dismemberment. That's because she loves those Dark Pictures game, and that's just non-stop people getting cut to pieces. Now, that's not true, but it should be.
I mean, we actually bought the original Lego Star Wars twice, didn't we?
I know.
Because when it came out for the Wii, was it the Wii?
It had everything in it, so you're essentially buying the same thing again.
So, and I was like, I want to play it with Wii controllers. Can we do that? And so I just bought it again.
Yeah. Exactly right, Maddie. No, it's only that hot. It's not that bright, Maddie. Remember, energy can be set out as heat or as light. Not necessarily both.
No, Horror King, it could not.
There you go. Gah!
A lightsaber could not cut Superman into pieces.
No, of course
unless he had been exposed to kryptonite.
Even then. He would have to be actively being exposed to kryptonite at the time. Lightsaber's not going to do anything to a Kryptonian. Mm-hmm. Or a Daxamite, who have all of the powers of Kryptonians. Except they're weak against lead, which is a really bad thing to be weak against on Earth.
Yep.
Like, unbelievably bad. Probably should have gotten the extra health. That one's on me. Where am I supposed to go? I've tried every door I've found. Oh, I know. But what I would really like is for them to sell DLC GD. That is pretty awesome. Nice. Enjoy the show, Brian. I'm looking forward to watching that once I can just binge the whole season at once. The Monica Lewinsky season of American Crime Story.
I don't know how I feel about them doing that.
No, it'll be interesting. Boom.
I feel like I need Monica Lewinsky's input on how she feels about that before I feel comfortable watching.
Totally fine. Come on, yes. Clive Owen's playing Bill Clinton. It's an interesting choice.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yay, I got armor! Nice. Exactly. And just say that the DLC is rated... Although they may have a problem at the ESRB with rating DLC separately from the main game. Like, hell, Oblivion had to go from being a T to an M because people added nudity to the game. And it's not even in the game code. It's literally just modders added nudity. And parents freaked out and yelled at the ESRB until they changed it. So,
what was in the nudity like?
Well, it's modders, so they put in naked people in the game.
Oh.
But it's modders. It's people going
Yeah.
into the game code and doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because they changed like the PC version to M. Sorry, I think they changed the console versions to M as well, even though you can't mod console versions. It's like how they had to change the rating on. There we go. I found a new area. How they changed the rating on not Vice City, San Andreas later on. What is this? Yay!
That is legitimately gross, Maddie. Good
Cool.
job.
Why do I have a light? Jesus. Yes, because they found the old sex scene in the code, even though there was, like, no easy way for anyone to accidentally find it. They still said, oh, well, this means we have to change it to, an adults-only rating until you release versions of the game that actually don't have that code in there. And they're like, ugh, this is so much work. But they did it anyway. Which raises the question, so they're putting out remastered San Andreas. Will they put the sex scenes back in? Ow! Or will they leave them in there for modders to discover? That would be pretty funny. I just don't have a prayer in this game. Okay, here we go. No! The suicide bug almost got me. That was especially embarrassing. Then a rat almost got me. Then a bat did get me. I am just garbage at this game. Although, part of this is not my fault. I remember quite well. Maddie, I woke up and there was news on the radio that 9/11 had happened. I didn't wake up till 10:30, so it was all, over by the time I woke up.
I woke up. I had fallen asleep in front of the TV. Saw the news. Was like, why are they talking about that old terrorist attack on the World Trade Center?
Yeah.
And went back to sleep. And then I woke up the second time to my friend Kim calling me on the phone because coincidentally she has a bunch of siblings that live in the States, and a few of them were actually flying that day. Ooh. And was like panicking because she was just out and about running errands and couldn't figure out what was going on because everybody was telling. And her brother was on the opposite of one of the flights, so going in the opposite direction.
So, since there's so much evidence that at least one writer working on the show, Wings, was a big X-Men fan, is that why they like talking about Logan Airport so much?
Probably.
Okay, that explains it.
Everybody loves Wolverine.
How am I... Okay, so the problem with this game, I figured out what the problem with the controls is. Like, basically, you can end up with no forward momentum, like a jump. If I'm pushing right and jump, it only gives me as much momentum as I had. So if I land and then immediately push right and try to jump, I can have no momentum and just kind of go straight up into the air. And that's what's getting me killed so many times as I try to get away from that beetle.
My day entailed that day mostly fielding calls from friends, watching the news, and calling people and telling them what was going on.
Oof.
Because I was on vacation that week, and this is going to make me sound really old, because it was the week I moved into my condo.
That doesn't make you sound really old.
I've owned this condo for 20 years.
And?
It's weird.
Okay, I don't find it weird. Ah! Yeah, it's nuts, Maddie. I get how people felt that way. Makes sense, Horror King. It's a jarring thing to find out about. I mean, it's crazy, but to say that people really did think in the 90s that nothing like that could happen in America, that's 100% true. Like, that is how people actually felt. They thought America was impervious to that kind of terrorism. Even though, and this is the crazy part, just 5 years earlier, an entire government had been blown up by Nazis. Mm-hmm. And yet America didn't smarten up about, the threat of terrorism.
Thanks, Marissa.
Damn right. See, Marissa knows. Well, no, of course you wouldn't remember anything, Maddie. You were way too young. It's like asking me what I thought about the Iran hostage crisis. I was eating paste? I don't know.
Although, as opposed to that, do you remember the Challenger explosion?
Of course.
Because wow, was I a space nerd, and wow, did that devastate.
All right, everybody. All right, developers of this game, I'm going to give you some notes now, because I'm never getting out of this first level. That's obviously true. So, some things to think about. A, make it clear how much damage I'm doing to enemies. Like, that's going to help a lot. Oh, now I got a curvy blade. See? Alright, so, oh, that's cute. So, A, make it clear how much damage I'm doing to enemies. Normally, I'm not a big fan of, what do you call it? The numbers over people's heads. But something like that would help a lot in a game like this. Either that or a health bar for enemies. 2, when there's an upgrade, like, tell me what the upgrade is going to do before I choose it. Like, that's kind of huge. I need to, like, be able to make an informed choice about the upgrade. 3, you can make it clear what I'm supposed to do. That would be epic. Like, just give me some sense about what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go, what my goal is, just what's going on with these monsters. 3. Is that 3? Yeah, 3. I don't know. Maybe make these guys do a little less damage, because I know I'm low level and everything, but, like, that buzzsaw guy will come out of nowhere and just one-shot you. And because of the way you've handled the movement in this game, it's basically impossible to avoid him. So that's something to look into. I think that's basically it for now. Yeah, like, look, I got chased by a bat, and another thing, in a game like this where enemies do so much damage, maybe consider letting the, you see how the animals aren't affected at all by me hitting them? So what you're going to want to do is put in a stagger for the enemies. So, like, when I hit an enemy, it'll pause for a second, give me a chance to combo. And you say, well, that gives you too much power. It doesn't really. A, it gives you a chance to reposition yourself, which is very important in combat. But more importantly, just make it so after every 3 hits, you have to do a cooldown, see? So I do 3, instead of continuous slashes, 1, 2, 3, and then I get a bit of a slowdown. And then, because I have to take that break after the 3rd hit, that gives the enemy a chance to start moving again. That allows me to tactically move and control enemy location, which is kind of vitally important. So, just some stuff to think about. Anyway, for now, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks so much for coming on this journey with me. If you had a good time, and you'd like to see more, there's buttons for that coming up. Questions, suggestions, related whatnots, go in the comment section below the video. I'm going to see you back here for more new and upcoming games, but until then, oh my god, say that's right, au revoir.